Welcome everybody to the ESL CSGO Pro League. My name is Dan Gaskin, joined on the desk by Hugo this week, and we've got some good games lined up, but you just got back from Katowice. You had a whale of a time, I hear. And what was it like over there, seeing all the pro teams playing off against each other live?
Yeah, it was awesome. I mean, I was doing the female event there, as were you, obviously, on the desk. But after, I managed to stay a couple of extra days, watch the main event. So we had a lot of fun there, watching some cool CS, obviously, and having FaZe go to the grand finals, which was a bit of a surprise.
It was very much a surprise. And obviously, FaZe are one of the teams that are in the ESL CSGO Pro League. And let's take a look at the standings as well and see where these teams are kind of lying at the moment. You can see Mouse Esports up there at the top, 5-1 their record at the moment, but is that going to continue after the roster shuffle is the real question, to be honest. On the other side, NIP down there at the bottom, which I don't really think anyone was expecting, or were they expecting NIP to be doing?
I mean, judging by recent results, at least on LAN, they've been struggling enough, right? So going into this one, while we were hoping that would kind of resurge and typically come back after a downtime, like NIP have had history in doing, and other teams like VP as well. But looking at them so far and looking at how kind of well, not great they've been on LAN, or at least trying to qualify as well. It's just been, more of an expected result now as we carry on. I can't see them, suddenly improving than qualifying at this point.
I mean, is there anything there on the table, any teams that have really surprised you during the opening weeks of Pro League?
I mean, Mouse being at the top has got to be one you got to say, right?
Yep.
Them being at the top is very, very rare to see from this team, and I don't want to just shut the door on them, but I don't see this continuing with Nico now going to FaZe, and FaZe being in the middle, I think that's going to rise for sure. You'd
like to think that teams like Fnatic as well will start picking it up ever so slightly.
Yeah, and that, I mean, going into Fnatic, right, they've obviously recently rejoined in this original roster, so I feel like you need to give them time, and as we go into the latter stages of the Pro League, I feel like they're going to start to get a little bit better, start to rise up the ranks a little. Okay,
well, let's have a look at what fixtures we will be seeing today on both the main stream and the secondary stream here. As you can see, Na'Vi versus Envy and FaZe versus NIP will be on the main stream. But over here on the secondary stream, we're going to have Kinguin versus HellRaisers and North versus Mouse. North versus Mouse, I'm really excited to see, obviously with Mouse being at the top, but North looking like a dominant force. They obviously had a good performance at IEM Katowice as well, so they'll, off the back of that, they will be wanting to perform. But let's focus on Kinguin versus HellRaisers then. It's an interesting one for me. HellRaisers do find themselves near the bottom of that table. Kinguin had some surprise results in week 1. They managed to pull out fantastic results and kind of surprise a few people. How do you think this one is going to end up?
I mean, this one's interesting in and of itself, right? Because we have Kinguin coming in from ESEA Premier last year and, getting into this the Pro League this season, and HellRaisers, who only just kept their spot from last season, and, just at the bottom of that one. Going into this one, I feel like they're a lot weaker now. Not only are HellRaisers a little bit weaker in terms of performance, but also a lot of other teams are kind of rising up. We talk about North, we talk about Fnatic, people like that. So coming up against Kinguin, while a lot of people maybe 6 months ago would look at the teams and they go, oh, HellRaisers easy, I feel like this is still up for debate. It could go either way. We could be seeing a 1-1 split right now. So I think Kinguin is a real contender to be up there, with the top of the teams.
All right, and opening map is going to be on Train today as well. You can see on your screens there. Neither team really have a fantastic record on Train. I think HellRaisers have lost their last 4 competitive Train games. Kinguin haven't actually played Train competitively since January, so is this like a perfect setting for these two teams? You say it's a little bit 50-50. Throwing them in on Train could get interesting.
Yeah, I feel like map pool in and of itself was a bit dangerous going into this one, because the best map, at least for Kinguin, is also the best map for HellRaisers, or one of the best at least, in terms of results. Overpass, Kinguin 8-1 right now, I think, and HellRaisers 3-1, but I feel like obviously because Kinguin is so good on it, HellRaisers were going to instantly veto it anyway. So going into this one, Train, again, proving grounds, right? Neither team, as you said, has had a lot of recent performances, or at least good performances, and I feel like with these teams being so undecided, at least who's going to be better, who's going to win this two best of ones, it could be anyone's game, right?
And standout players, obviously Kinguin, Furlan, Spiro, Maus, Mihu and Ralin. Who should we be looking for on Train? Who's going to be that big impact fragger?
You've got to watch Mihu, right? He's obviously the man that is always stepping up. Spiro as well, I think, is quite interesting. He doesn't get as much attention, but definitely a player to at least keep your eye on for the side of Kinguin.
And what about HellRaisers? Anyone that we should be looking out for? Because I feel like HellRaisers, they've kind of fallen from grace a little bit. If I kind of cycle back in my head, when I used to play CSGO, I mean, this is several years now, I used to copy all the HellRaisers strats. They were the strat team that I used to follow on maps like Mirage. Now I feel like they're really lacking.
Well, obviously the rosters have had some changes since then, but I feel like usually you'd look at someone like Dead Fox and HellRaisers, a Hungarian player, the AWPer for the team, and you go, he's the man you should watch out for. But at least if you look at the recent statistics and the recent kind of stats for Dead Fox individually, he's not been performing very well on that AWP. So despite him being typically one of the standout players, I'm quite worried as to how he's going to go into this one, especially with Train being such an AWP-dominated map. He needs to be on his A game today.
And you were saying it's going to be quite 50-50 between these two teams, and do you think there's a lot of people that are arguing that maybe Kinguin should be able to take this very comfortably just because of the record of HellRaisers? I
mean, personally, at least I know a bit preemptive jumping into predictions, I'm going to call a 2-0 for Kinguin, but I still don't think it would be quite as comfortable as some may think. I don't expect some kind of dominant performance in terms of HellRaisers not being able to get any rounds on the board, but I still feel like Kinguin just will have the edge in terms of not only individual players, but also recent performance adding up.
Oh, and what about then Cash? As we move into Cash for map number 2, a slightly favoured map, I would say, as well for Kinguin against HellRaisers 2. At least statistics would say that. However, I mean, it's not been great for Kinguin. They did lose in February. I think that's the last time they played Cash as well. So another map that they've not really been playing a lot recently is, well, competitively anyway. They've probably been practicing it plenty, or at least you'd hope so. How do you see Cash kind of playing out between these two? Is it another throw up in the air and just see who catches the ball?
More so Kinguin's. I think this one leads itself than Train, because obviously, as you said, they've had a recent performance. They're 3-1 in the map in the last couple of months. So looking at them, confident map for them, one of their top 3. I mean, looking at HellRaisers as well, as a team with a really, really kind of small map pool there. They're not up there with the likes of, some other teams that can kind of go over every single map, right? Like Astralis, for example. And HellRaisers really kind of need to expand that map pool, especially with the addition of Inferno back into the active duty. And neither team has really decided to pick that up just yet. You've seen some teams like Mouse Sports, for example, start picking Inferno in matches, and well, they haven't been getting results. Obviously, they've still been practicing it clearly. So I feel like with the addition of Inferno, both these teams need to kind of try and get on that grind for it. But looking at the map pools for both Kinguin and HellRaisers more so, the map pool is really, really small. So kind of judging Train and Cash here is just a really, really hard decision, I think, to make.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough one. I'm being told we've got a few issues with players joining servers, so whilst we are waiting, how about we have a look at some tips and tricks on the map that is Train.
Hey Future Pros, Train is the game and we have a slick smoke to cover CT connector. This smoke is great for pushing that pesky AWPer off position, and coupled with 1 or 2 more smokes you have a great outside execute. To master this, hop up on this dumpster and nestle yourself between these 2 crates. Once done so, aim just to the right of the corner of this building and let the smoke fly. Train ain't easy, but hopefully you can find some success with this top tip.
Always handy to have a few smokes known in your back pocket. Kinguin vs HellRaisers is going to be map number 1 on Train, of course. Now, I touched on ever so slightly past results between these two teams, or certainly against other teams on Train. Have you got anything a little bit more in-depth? Have you got some more kind of nitty-gritty scorelines for me?
Yeah, we not exactly scorelines, but we can look at HellRaisers, right? As a team, we can go, in terms of actually achieving results on LAN, what are they kind of accomplishing? Because Kinguin, one of those teams, as I said, came from Premier last season, kind of making it out of the woodwork series, one of the top Polish teams at the moment. So going into HellRaisers, I think it's a little more interesting, right? Because they're one of those teams that always seem to be able to kind of qualify for these LAN events, but never really seem to get any placings on. We can look at the E-League Major, for example, bombing out there. I think Las Vegas, obviously, they got to the close qualifiers there online. They didn't quite make it, but they seem to be a team that is able to grind online, and I feel like this at least may favour them, obviously, being online as Pro League is. But going into latter stages of events, they always seem to crumble and fall out in groups, whereas Kinguin, a team that haven't had as much LAN experience. So it just comes down to the same thing. It's such an undecided matchup. We don't know where this is going to go. I mean, we could move into predictions, that being said, though, right?
Yeah, I mean, you said 2-0 you think is going to be the case in favour of Kinguin. Obviously, they're 2 separate maps, and you get 3 points for each win, so it's not necessarily a series. I can see something like a 1-1. I don't want to count HellRaisers out just yet. The big thing for me is that Kinguin just haven't been playing Train, at least competitively. So it's going to be a question, who's been playing it more out of both these teams? And if we look back, I think it was week 2 of Pro League, HellRaisers lost 16-10 versus Envy. So perhaps that might be fresh in their mind. They might have gone back. They might have worked over something. That remains to be seen. But Train in general, do you think both of these teams, are we going to see quite a slow-paced game? I remember watching Train with NIP in week 1. They were waiting until the last 30, 20 seconds before they even had any sort of push. A lot of burst strategy here, or a lot of slow, methodical play?
I think definitely on the side of Kinguin, burst strategy is going to be something we see. They're a really aim-based team, a lot of heavy hitters on that roster, so yeah, a lot of fast A plays, fast B plays I think we can be expecting. Again, we don't really have a lot to work off in terms of past results in terms of them playing it. As you said, they haven't played it competitively since January, so it'll be interesting to see what they bring to the table. But yeah, definitely burst strategies for the side of Kinguin. HellRaisers less so. They're more of a team that's kind of slower. They focus around that AWP and Dead Fox, try and get them into the angles, and a Train is definitely a map that benefits that, right? You can post them up towards Ivy, you can wait for a player to peek, maybe bait some out with some bait a player out from Ivy with nades, go into A main. There's so many opportunities for an AWP to really star in this matchup. But as I said earlier, Dead Fox been a bit iffy online as of late, especially with the Star Series qualifiers we've seen him in. He's not really been performing very well, despite the rest of HellRaisers just having to drag him through the matches.
Yeah, I wonder whether that's going to slightly hinder them, or whether he'll be able to pick up his game. You said 2-0 then, but what about just a Train scoreline then? How do you see this going?
I'm going to go... I'm going to say it's close for Train. I'm going to say a 16-12, maybe a 16-13, something like that.
Okay. I think it's going to be a bit more of a one-sided affair for Kinguin on this one. I think maybe a 16-7. I think it's all going to come down obviously to the knife and see who can get onto that CT round first. For me, if Kinguin can get CT first, I think it's going to be quite a one-sided affair. However, if HellRaisers get there, then it might be a close one. HellRaisers might even take this one, to be honest. They've definitely got it in them. It's just going to be a case of whether they can pull it out on the day, to be honest.
Yeah, personally, I feel like this is, if HellRaisers are going to take a map, this is a surprise map that they have, that maybe they've been putting some work into, but on cash, I feel like that's going to be more favoured to Kinguin, even so, than this one.
Yeah, cash definitely. I mean, statistically, you can just look at it right there. I took a look across all of the stats for HellRaisers, and cash was a lot more well-favoured to them than Train. But sometimes when a map is your weak point, you do practice it a lot more. And yes, okay, teams will be vetoing it and saying, okay, we know they're weak on it, we can look at their past results. Might be what Kinguin have done here today. They might have said, okay, HellRaisers, not won in the last 4 competitive games, should be an easy one, and then suddenly, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, HellRaisers are suddenly very well practiced.
Exactly, and you see that a lot of, also with the reintroduced maps like Inferno and Nuke, we saw a lot of teams kind of, when they first joined, start to really practice them and put some time in, and teams, going for the insta-pick on Inferno and Nuke. So while this is obviously a long-standing map, I feel like, yeah, that's definitely true. HellRaisers could have been putting in their homework, and if they at least done some research in terms of how Kinguin try and play this map, maybe they could have something up their sleeve to really help them get ahead in this league at the moment.
Oh, for sure. And I think one thing we really need to focus on between these two teams is, I mean, Kinguin got relegated, well, they got promoted last season into this league, and HellRaisers were very close at the bottom of that table as well. This is such an important match for both of these teams. Getting a couple of wins here, there could just be the difference about surviving this league. Yeah,
especially when so many of the teams here are just top 10 teams. We don't see HellRaisers or Kinguin taking maps off at the end of the day. This is the equal matchup. This is a matchup that either team needs to, use to their advantage, get themselves higher standing, obviously, because next, who knows, Kinguin's up against Fnatic and they're getting 2-0'd, so it's a hard one for both teams. But going into this, definitely an equal matchup, definitely going to be interesting to see who can take the lead, and I mean, it's anyone's game at this point.
Yeah, definitely. And I want to touch on as well what you said to me earlier when we were just talking before the broadcast. You were saying how that Kinguin, they will play any kind of competition, they'll face up against anyone, whereas HellRaisers will always make sure they are facing off against the best opposition for the best practice. But we are getting into this first round. HellRaisers are going to be starting on this T side.
Fast aggression, though, from Kinguin over on the CT. We will see Sparrow push into main, and somehow they don't clear him. He gets himself 2 quick headshots, and there we go. Already the round's looking down and out as HellRaisers are just relegated to 2 players left. The bomb site's still fully in control of Team Kinguin, and the fact that Sparrow's pushed so aggressively up here means HellRaisers, they have nothing to do. He's just forced in behind, being a nuisance, and Stiko, he's going to attempt to get this bomb down, but it's just not going to work out.
This was exactly my worry with Kinguin starting on that CT side. Obviously, there was no knife round. I was silly to suggest the knife round. With the veto process, it does mean that one of the teams chooses which side they're going to start on, so I presume Kinguin chose this one. And a nice solid start for them. They just need to now press on. HellRaisers just need to, I think, just take a deep breath, think about what just happened, because they tried that burst strategy, it didn't work, and as you said, it was easy pickings for Sparrow there.
Yeah, I like the aggression though. Something to at least start off the match, get into the head of HellRaisers, really surprise them. And talking about surprising, it's interesting to not see the force buy here from HellRaisers in the second round. They've gone for the Deagle buy, and what this does, you see some teams starting to pick this up, is it means you can invest in a Deagle with no armor, and you can do that in both eco rounds that you have after losing the pistol. And that's very common after not getting the bomb down. But as you can see, they're not being too successful, because Team Kinguin, they're not going for the meta buy, they're actually pulling in a lot of M4s, so the rifles are going to be seriously good at this kind of range. You can just see these players getting mown down, and nothing will be found other than one kill onto Furlan. HellRaisers, they are just completely dominated, and we will go into one more eco. It'll be interesting to see if they save up for the utility in this one or go for the Deagles again.
Yeah, and that's the thing with the Deagles as well. I mean, if they had just hit that one shot onto Mihu, it could have been completely different. They would have had IV control, found an M4 for themselves. Suddenly, round is winnable, but you do see those shots hit very often, and perhaps too often as of late, but it's not going to happen. I mean, if you look back at the crazy stuff from Dupree at IM Katowice, that was disgusting Deagle ace that he got, but that wasn't against M4s though, I guess. As now we move into the third round, Kinguin just looked to continue, and they should be able to put a third one on the board. Another very weak buy for HellRaisers.
Yeah, so they're actually using that previous Deagle round just to get a little bit more utility, maybe get that AWP on Devfox, who's on a clock this round. Not going for the double Deagle buy, aside from Angel, who's already been removed from the equation. Mihu, nice aggression down towards Ivy, going to take down the first one, and I imagine this is just going to be a cleanup, right? P250, Glock and a Deagle. Not going to be much for the roster of HellRaisers. Team Kinguin, I like how safe they're playing this as well. Not pushing up, not getting in the faces, and sticking with the rifles so early on is something that's very uncommon. Less so on Train, obviously, because it is a range-based map, but you typically see these triple UMP buys a lot the CTs are buying up just to farm as much cash as possible and then go for that bonus round where they can actually bring the SMGs into the buy, which, that being said, isn't too effective, but either way, they seem to be getting a bit hungry for frags, or at least Rallin is. He takes down Devfox, and Stiko again, it's like the pistol round, he's looking for the bomb plant on B.
Yep, and playing nice and safe early, just get a little bit aggressive towards the end when you start to get a little bit bored, I guess, as they will put the third on the board of the board. And I think it's important that Kinguin have played that safe. I mean, if I look back at both week 1 and 2 of Pro League, it often, especially on Train, it's who budges first, who's going to make that first mistake. It's certainly what Nip were waiting for. They were hoping that someone was going to play aggressive. They didn't, so then Nip just wasted away the round, and then they finally burst out, but half the time it was just too little, too late. So HellRaisers, they went for that burst strategy, opening the pistol. Now it's their first buy round. Let's see what they're going to do.
Yeah, keeping the SMG on Rallin as well. Not quite a UMP, but the MP9 very, very deadly at close ranges. Be interested to see how he plays this one, as he's situated, I think, over towards the Ivy there. The rest of them, though, on the HellRaiser side, putting a bit of pressure towards B, and Furlan, he is alone on this one, with the players not close for a rotation, no connect to Kinguin, and instead pushing up quite aggressively here towards A main. That's going to be Sparrow, so they actually may be able to get a lot of information and cause an early rotation here from Kinguin, which would be perfect right now. The issue is, HellRaisers, they're about to storm out onto B.
Yeah, it's how quickly can the rest of his team get onto this B site. Furlan's going to go down, Mouse is going to rotate through the smoke here, and he will be the first person onto site, but has to back off as well. Bomb's going to go down. So Kinguin going to have to try and retake 3 versus 5 here. Zero already getting aggressive after finding that frag initially. And Kinguin, I mean, could just save here, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, HellRaisers don't have much utility left, which is one positive to go for the retake. But the issue is, obviously, they have the man advantage, although that's been relinquished here as Miles. He's going to go in and get himself 2 quick kills. His teammate does fall to Devfox, but look at the trade. It's perfect so far. They need to get on this bomb, though. The time is ticking away, and they do have a kid on Miles at least, but both players situated towards upper. It's a double peek. That's perfect. What a Kinguin looking at. First player going down, and there's a spray from Angel. It misses, but there's just no time left. He's going to be able to close it out. And HellRaisers, a bit of a sloppy one on the post plant. They lose too many members considering they had a 5-on-3, but they are going to make it work.
I would have thought by now players would have worked out how to jump onto the bomb train. Slightly painful to watch that, but the quick 360 turnaround to hit the shot was great. Unfortunately, just wasn't enough. So good after plans from HellRaisers in the end. Could have gone very differently if someone from Kinguin, perhaps Mihu, had got aggressive and just pushed that upper there. But it's going to be now an AWP onto Rallin.
And on Sparrow. The double AWP already, this early on into the game. This is the game changer from Kinguin. This is them trying to really bring in the hurt nice and early to shut down HellRaisers, to get that reset and to screw over the money of the T side. And this is the perfect way of doing it, right? Such an AWP-based map, bringing in 2 AWPs is just exactly what they need to spice things up. And HellRaisers yet to pull up the AWP on Devfox. They lose 4 players in the previous round. Their money's low, so they are just having to stick to the AKs for the time being. Issue is, for HellRaisers, obviously, Kinguin haven't exactly shown the fact that they have 2 AWPs, only shooting one of them so far, so it's still going to be a bit of a surprise. But that being said, if we see the retake play, if we see HellRaisers take B, these AWPs are not going to be as good as we expect.
That's exactly what I was just about to ask you. I was going to say on the retake, how effective are AWPs on a map like Terrain, but you've already answered that one for me, and now Kinguin need to make sure they hit those shots when HellRaisers do push in. Looks like they're favouring a push towards B once again. Will the information be had? Will we see a slightly faster rotation? I kind of think if Kinguin had got onto the site a little bit earlier, it could have been different last round. Furlong going to be the first point of defence once again. Throws out all of his utility just to try and keep them back. Tries to spray through the smoke, but he is going to be challenged from both sides. Zero takes him down. Really important. Then Ratman hits this, but just gets a leg shot. Can't find any of the body, unfortunately, for him. Just 2%, but the HE grenade is going to finish him off. And we're into a 4v4.
But look at Bondik's position here. He's pushed up into the connector. He's letting them all run past. One quick kill. That will delay them so much and take their attention away from the real issue, and that is the bomb. He does go down, but he does a lot of damage before he falls. And now let's see how the AWPs fare. Two of them, in fact. Sparrow, he doesn't matter. He's going to get himself two. Angel's now alone. He has a Molotov for the bomb, and they don't have a smoke, so that will delay it. But there's still time for them to get on the defuse of Mouse's kit as well. Issue is Angel going to hit his shot? He starts to move on in. He knows they're going to be close to the bomb after that Molotov phase, and they're going to be peeking him, and Sparrow will take him down. Kinguin, they get that defuse, they get that reset, and most importantly, they keep 3 players alive, 2 of them being on AWPs. So that's a huge money bonus now for Kinguin, and HellRaisers, the complete opposite.
Absolutely huge from Sparrow, as you said. I mean, we were talking about how successful are AWPs on those retakes, but if you can hit shots like that, then be my guest, take an AWP every round and just continue this. As HellRaisers now, they'll have to reset, and they'll have to go for an eco here. Just one Tech 9 for 0, and they find themselves 4-1 down. How are they going to manage to break through this double AWP setup from Kinguin?
They've got 2 smokes, I mean, so they at least hinting towards a B play. They can get one down on the ramp, maybe get a connector smoke in deep or throw one towards upper. The bomb plant is essentially the main goal for this, and you can tell because they haven't invested more than $800 on anyone other than Zero. So essentially just trying to get a bit of bonus money to play with, and combined with the loss bonus now being a little more built up over into 1900 after this, it should be okay for the buy. So at least we can see Kinguin are giving them the bomb plant. They are playing the passive B setup, but it's not going to be too much of an issue here for them to mop them up, assuming the bomb does go down.
Yeah, the bomb's not gone down just yet. Looks like Zero is going to be able to plant it, though. As you said, easy pickings, and this is just going to be a formality now to clean this last member up. Bondik can't even find one of his own. So a nice clean round for Kinguin. I don't think they'll mind too much that the bomb's gone down there.
No, and they keep all players alive as well, so very, very good for the economy. As you can see, starting to being built up, 6k on the most of the players, so Kinguin got to be happy where they're sitting for the moment, and now HellRaisers will be going for the buy, but look at the issue again. No AWP here. Dead Fox, you can see he's got 5k, he's thinking about whether to go for the glass cannon, but the issue is, that is very, very risky, and yeah, he's just going to go safe. Full AKs here. And that's the thing, HellRaisers, the fact that they take so long to go for that buy shows that they're just trying to base around these strategies on getting that AWP in play. They need it early on here on the T side, and the fact that Kinguin's been so brutal against the money of HellRaisers just shows how much it's handicapping them into these rounds.
And that's why Train is so tough when you start on that T side as well. You just feel like you're constantly fighting a financial battle if you can't get those early rounds, and it's exactly what we see here from HellRaisers. Sphero, a good opportunity to take down, but just legs. Once again, Bondik is able to escape with his life there, and Sphero is not going to have any of it. He's just going to back off and take a different angle instead. But information will definitely be had. He would have communicated that with his team, and now they'll be, you can see, they're all just setting up ever so slightly around Ivy. Need to be careful about the B push, though, because that has been HellRaisers' main point of attack.
Yeah, this time they're switching it up, though. 2 players coming into the pop dog. We got Ivy split as well, and one inside of main is looking like the strategy for the time being, although they will start to back off, so even more centered towards an A play right now. But I like this from Kinguin, a bit of aggression to throw something in the mix. Who's going to be pushed all the way up, and that will mean one of his teammates can rotate back in towards the B site, have a little more of a passive stance on A, because he is going to have far more information and be able to convey it to his team way earlier if he sees this push. The issue is, obviously, HellRaisers are about to walk into this, but oh no, Mihu, look at that, just walks down. He doesn't need help. He just takes the kill onto Angel, and still Kinguin with aggressive positioning. Sparrow is pushed all the way up. He should get himself a free kill, and he does. A 5-on-3, and HellRaisers are falling down. Yeah, should be able to find another one. He can't quite hit it. Whips it ever so slightly, but comes back for more and whams him in the face. And now it's just Zero left on his own with very little hope. He is going to be challenged by Sparrow as well. 6-1, and I love there's just a little bit of aggression coming out from Kinguin. They really bide their time, they pick their moment perfectly, while Mihu just waiting ever so slightly in Ivy and then just taking the opportunity. As soon as that flash came out from his teammate, he was like, yep, this is it. I'm just going to go and challenge him. And having that man advantage was enough to kind of prompt HellRaisers into somewhat of a preemptive push that didn't really work out. Yeah, and Sparrow's just destroying right now. 12-1. could not be happier for the side of Kinguin. He is just tearing off limbs left and right. And HellRaisers now really no investment. A few bits of utility. This will be an A play for sure with the amount of smokes that they've got under their belt, but not a lot of hope to go with that. They invested over $800, so even a bomb plant is not exactly going to benefit them. It will just kind of give them the reimbursement for what they spent into this. And as you can see, I'm feeling like they may be taking the bomb down towards B, at least, with the smokes coming in through the upper here. But nope, Stiko's going to drop right down, and this will just be a fast charge. The wall of China smokes coming out, but Team Kinguin still keeping this aggressive positioning. They're not backing off towards CT. In fact, they're boosting. They want more. Malzo, he's going to go down to 0, so the P250 works out. And actually, HellRaisers, they're making this one costly.
Yeah, Bondik finds another. Can they find a weapon to work with? But Sphero at the moment is just easy pickings as he finds another. Just Dead Fox and 0 left. Have either of them found a weapon? No, they haven't, so they need to do work with Deagle. And as I say that, Dead Fox hits Rallen in the face, and 0 is just on slicing and dicing, but can't find anything. Diffuse is going to come through. Can Dead Fox hit the shot? It'd be huge if he could, but he can't quite get it from that angle. Bob gets diffused, and Sphero finishes things off in style.
That's hugely important as well for HellRaisers, because you could look at that and go, oh, they invested $800 each, and they only got a bomb plant and a couple of kills, so, you know, they're not making profit, but it's not about profit, it's about hurting the economy of Kinguin. Now the money still looking good for the CT side, but players like Miles are on 3k, we've got 4k on Rallen, and obviously losing 3 players up against a couple of P250s and a couple of Deagles is very, very effective from HellRaisers. And now, due to that, the AWP is in play.
Yeah, the AWP for Dead Fox. So see if HellRaisers are going to change things up. Can Dead Fox make a huge impact with this AWP, or is he going to be forced out and out-AWPed by Kinguin? As Angel tries to take a peek, but Rallen shuts him down immediately, and we'll just back off deeper into the site now and say, well, you can come and push if you want, but I'm just going to take more of a passive angle.
And after that pick over towards B, they know that HellRaisers are likely going to be centered some players around that site, so in reaction, Sparrow's going to push up on Ivy. A lot of control, a lot of information, and look at the rotations already. We've got 3 players on the B site from Kinguin. They know what's happening here. HellRaisers will throw down that ramp smoke, but it doesn't matter because we have so many members in position from the CT side that they are just going to be able to deal with this so easily. The issue is, can HellRaisers equalise it? Can HellRaisers find the pick? And Dead Fox is going to be looking to do so. But Bondik, nice reactor play outside of the pop dog. He's going to get himself a free kill to Mihu. And now the rotations, they come flooding back into A, because with the time ticking away, it's looking more and more likely that HellRaisers will hit the A site. And finally, Dead Fox, he's going to chime in.
Yeah, this is exactly what Dead Fox needed to do. Needed to hit those shots. As Stiko will find one as well onto Furlan, so now it's just Rallen left on his own because Dead Fox takes out Mouse, and this is better from HellRaisers. This is going to be extremely difficult for Rallen to do. Can't quite connect with that shot either, so this should be HellRaisers' round, but we have seen crazier things happen throughout Counter-Strike, but maybe, just maybe, he'll even just want to save this.
More than likely, right? Maybe get some exits at that, because there are 4 players remaining, so if we can try and impact the economy, that'd be great, but 0 says no. And HellRaisers, they get 2 on the board. That's a very effective one as well. Not going down to the line, they save 2 AWPs into the next round. Not sure what they're going to be doing with that, but Angel's going to dom one of them, so it'll be interesting to see how they play around this, but obviously Team Kinguin, in reverse, are going to also be picking up their own double AWP.
I wonder whether Angel is going to go for that aggressive peek at B, this time with an AWP, and see if he can out-frag the member of Kinguin that previously took him down. It's always interesting seeing 2 AWPs on T side, especially on train.
Very rare.
But I guess if you're against 2 AWPs on the CT side, then it feels like that's what they want to do. But Sphero finds one onto Angel. Mihu was getting very aggressive, but he didn't even need to push out in the end. And that's going to be one of the AWPs already taken out of the hands of Angel. So he did get aggressive, but it was at the other site. Yeah,
and with no teammate to trade as well, that's so unfortunate. And the fact that Kinguin have noticed that no one from HellRaisers shot back, they've actually pushed Mihu in reaction. Who's done the triple AWP? The triple AWP on CT train. This is just disgusting right now. And they're looking for the reset as well. So kicking it off with a good start, taking out one of the key players of HellRaisers, and now leaving it into a 4-on-5. But still, HellRaisers set up for this B play. If they get the bomb down, the triple AWP might not be as effective as the double AWP on the retake. It might actually be a handicap for a change, but who knows? This is Kinguin we're watching. Nade's going to go out towards upper. Rallen trying to find himself a shot just through the edge of the smoke, but they are pushing down the ramp in the meantime. Bondik very aggressive here. The smoke towards Connector going to work out, and Dead Fox and Bondik both open things up. Furlan's still in the site, but not for long because Bondik's found the head. And a 3v2. This is great for HellRaisers.
Yeah, all 3 AWPs have gone down. Just Mihu and Mouse left to retake this site. They need to do work, but Bondik continues his damage, leaving Mihu all alone. Does he have any hope of retaking this site? Needs to find the one in Z first, to be honest. He's going to be able to push onto the site, otherwise he's just going to be backstabbed. Stiko there, just dancing around on bomb train as the first point of defense, and now he can communicate to his teammates, but he doesn't even need to. He'll finish it off himself, and HellRaisers looking a lot better now, and that's a lot of damage done to Kinguin's economy. Yes, they can perhaps still force something up here, but it's not going to be 2 AWPs, I don't think.
Yeah, Sparrow's going to either have to bail out one of his teammates with low money, or he's going to go for the AWP himself. He'll actually go for the AWP, yeah. That's a bit of a risky play. But, oh no, he's dropped a rifle over as well, so it's actually not that bad. Team Kinguin can get something out, and HellRaisers at least disallowing that reset, which was so important. If they got reset after pulling in a double AWP, that would have been so dangerous, right? So now, single AWP, you were right, utility is extremely limited for Kinguin. And a very key round, because if they do lose out on this, while the scoreline is very favourable for them at the moment, HellRaisers will be given basically 5 rounds for free, because Kinguin will have no money, right? They won't have a loss bonus either to force up with, so it's likely going to start to be a bit of a comeback for HellRaisers. So this is actually looking quite good here for the Tees.
And did Kinguin throw away that last round themselves by picking up those 3 AWPs? Because the 3 AWPers were the 3 to go down first. Would it have been different if they had M4s?
I mean, at the end of the day, I think Bondik was just the man to change that for the T side. The aggression post-bomb was perfect, and even if they had rifles, he snuck right in behind, so it seemed like Kinguin just weren't really aware. That being said, let's see if Bondik or any of the members of HellRaisers are going to have a star performance now. As we can see, the smokes are going to be set up towards A. Seems like they will be committing with the position of the bomb, but that actually being picked up, it's a fake. They're taking it back in towards B, it seems, or at least one player pushing out onto A as a fake as he goes in. Stiko looking for more, but Angel, he's found the opener over towards B, and with Kinguin rotating, this is going to be perfect, but Furlan, he's still in position. 2 kills, make that 3. Furlan is mopping up HellRaisers. There's 2 remaining now, and that is just surely over at this point.
Absolutely filthy stuff from Furlan there, but Bondik did some damage last round. Needs to do more of the same if they're going to get back into this, but Sparrow finds Stiko as well. So if Bondik is going to get anything from this round, he really needs to turn Super Saiyan right about now, but I'm not sure that the blonde hair is going to come through.
Yeah, 20 seconds left on the clock. 2 players are low on the site, but they've got everyone in position here. With the bomb being down for them, I don't think they're going to be giving this one away. And that smoke going down, that will seal the deal. Bondik should be holding onto this gun. There's no way he can push through it. Maybe if he wants a loss bonus, that could be a reason. But at the end of the day, it's not going to be that much of a a build-up, as they almost got reset there. So Bondik just holding onto the gun. Maybe he'll get chased, but Team Kinguin, they do have a lot of low HP, so not wanting to lose any more money while they can. And actually keeping onto the double AWP, they pick it up off the body of Dead Fox, so that's something to play with now for Kinguin. And just as I was saying, HellRaisers could have had a really good opener into this map. It's all fallen apart.
It almost went perfectly for HellRaisers as well. Sold the fake, managed to get onto the B site initially with the opening frag onto the bomb train, but just amazing stuff coming out from the Kinguins. Individually, like, everyone's been stepping up from them. We saw Mihu hitting shots earlier, and Furlan, of course, doing the same in that round. They need to do more of the same. 8-3 is looking a comfortable scoreline. If they can turn this into a 12-3, they'll be extremely happy with that. They just want to try and destroy the economy of HellRaisers to start picking up some easy rounds. Furlan taking a very aggressive approach, but has to back off because of the molly. And he's going to drop back into his little safe cubby hole as Dead Fox gets the opening frag onto Rana.
Surprised they don't peek with that Molotov. They could have easily forced him out of position and taken the kill. Maybe they were expecting an AWP though, which could have been dangerous. But either way, nice openers actually. Angel and Dead Fox going to be striking. And a couple of kills already going the way of the T side. Let's see how Kinguin react. They push a couple of players into B, and this is going to be a complete bank on, right? If it is an A play, they should just be saving this triple rifle. But if it is B, and it's looking very likely to be so, they are at least going to try and contest this because they have all the manpower on play. But no, the bomb's actually rotating. This is good. This is a nice read from HellRaisers. They're expecting it. And look at this. The trade's still going out on the B side. This is perfect so far from the T side. Actually getting the counter reset on, but Mihu, he's not saving. He's not giving up. He is forced all the way behind enemy lines. And he will strike. Bombs dropped. Still plenty of time to grab that. And Bondik will be in position to shut him down. It's all onto Sparrow.
Sparrow with chance in his hands now. Bomb's going to go down. I wonder whether they've got any information as to where he is. Just pushing slowly down from Ivy now. If he can connect this first shot, Dead Fox, as you can see, is already looking that way. So Sparrow, having none of it, is just going to save this AWP instead. Probably the sensible play here.
Yeah, definitely. He's got so much utility as well. It's about 8k investment into this round. No reason to throw it away at all. So HellRaisers actually getting the reset onto Kinguin. If we can have a look at the scoreboard to at least have a talk about the economy, or not. But there we go. Yeah, wow, look at Sparrow right now, 18-3. That's crazy. But yeah, a reset from HellRaisers right off the back of a loss. So that's perfect for them. That's really going to hurt the economy of the CT side with it not being built up as well. So we're going to see an eco here from Team Kinguin. And this will be another opener for HellRaisers to get back into this game, the second time they've had it.
Always upsets me in those situations when I just want to see them go balls to the wall, him be like, yeah, I've got 18 frags, I'm just going to rush in, go for no scopes, go for everything. But no, of course, he plays sensible. He's a professional. Ooh. And that's slightly interesting.
This buy. Okay, no, it's not that bad, actually. I wasn't sure how they would get 2 rifles into it, but they actually have a double M4, plus a UMP, which, I mean, is basically a rifle at this point, right? and then Rallen on the CZ.
Obviously, CZ can be very detrimental if you can get in the right places with it as well. So we wonder whether Rallen is going to be able to do anything with that at all. Mao's getting aggressive here, as seeing if he can get any sort of information. Bondnik in a great position if he does get over-aggressive though. But they have backed off. And HellRaisers have a fantastic chance to get back in this game. They can take this round and well and truly shaft Kinguin's economy here.
Especially off of the force, right? A really key investment here from the CT side. So yeah, HellRaisers not actually looking in that bad of a spot despite the scoreline being fairly against them. But again, this is Train, right? This is CT sided. So it's actually not as terrible for HellRaisers as you might expect at this point. But let's see how this round can convert, because if Kinguin pick this one up, it's going to be the reset onto the reset, which will just be horrible for the T side. But let's see, Rallen here, close position with the CZ. He said it can be detrimental. Let's see if he can prove that. As you can see, Angel pushing his way up, does crouch below the shot. That's perfect. He takes the kill. Does get flashbanged out though, and Mihu takes the frag, but he doesn't spot the second player all the way up Ivy, so he could get flanked as he turns around to focus towards A main. Still, Kinguin with very aggressive positioning. We have Mouse here in the pop dog, and he will spot them out A main. Good stuff there. One kill. It's traded, but this is all Kinguin are hoping for.
Really important trade coming out from Stiko. That could have been awful for them if he didn't get it. Dead Fox now pushing out onto Ivy, and as you said, Mihu didn't notice him, and he is going to get shot in the back for it as well. As Dead Fox looks for more, gets blinded ever so slightly. He is going to have to back off, but his teammates are going to put the bomb down. Do they know that there are Kinguin players just on that bomb train? And Sphero finds Dead Fox. Zero will get Furlan, so it's just on Sphero now in a 1 versus 2, and I don't think he'll be saving this time. He doesn't have the opportunity to. Can he find the shot? No, he can't. Zero finishes it off, and it's going to be 8-5, and suddenly this is looking like a lot better half for HellRaisers. At one point, it looked like they perhaps might have been down and out, but they're slowly crawling back into this one.
Yes, 7-1 to 8-5. That's a comeback if I've ever heard it. And let's see if they can close out these last 2 rounds. They have an eco ahead of them, or an anti-eco, as Kinguin can't really invest into this. So HellRaisers should be, in theory, granted a 6th round here, and then going into the last by the half, there's no way Kinguin are going to be on that double AWP grind again. They will just have maybe 1 AWP at max, but probably just sticking with the rifles if they want to get a good amount of utility here. But HellRaisers set up fast towards B. A bit of a default, just going to be held out, not too much aggressive control. And I like how they're playing this, right? They know they're up against pistols. They don't want to sit in A main and have an opponent flash himself in and get a headshot really quickly. So they're actually playing it far more passively than they have been doing, at least over towards A main. As you can see, Kinguin are doing exactly that, pushing the pistol in. Sparrow's there. So if HellRaisers late go for some kind of A-take, they've really got to clear out these close angles, because this gun is lethal. And look at Bondik, he's actually going to start to do it. Sparrow's going to be ready. He crouches again. This is a perfect peaks from HellRaisers. Angel and Bondik being able to duck under the pistols, and the man advantage already secured.
Yeah, it should be relatively easy getting into these sites, but I like the HellRaisers are taking their time. They're not getting too aggressive. They don't want to be caught off guard and be punished for just being silly, really, as Rallen does find one. Stiku comes in to get the trade once again. Bondik then comes in, chimes in with one of his own. And now there's just 2 players left in the hands. It's Mihu. It's Furlan, and they're going to try and do what they can, but as we said, it should just be a formality here. And I think we really need to touch on how important this is for HellRaisers. I mean, they are 1-3 at the moment in the league table. They've been on a little bit of a rut, and they could really do with picking up at least a map, if not 2, just to get that confidence builder. And to be honest, it's the same for Kinguin. They started really well in week 1, picked up a fantastic result, but ever since they've just slid off the radar ever so slightly. And it is going to be a closely contested first half. But even with just 6 rounds, I've got to say, this is favouring HellRaisers. Yeah,
definitely. And 7 looking more and more likely going into this one. If you look at the utility of Kinguin, as we expected, not going to be too great. They have a couple of smoke players, but they're actually going to try and counter this lack of weaponry with the aggression, and that is perfect. Sparrow will double peek up with Mihu up towards Ivy, and they get a free kill. Just back off. Of course, they're not going to be able to smoke off this area for much longer, but the man advantage taken very early on, and that's going to be so beneficial here for the CT side. The issue is, can they convert it into a round, or will Dead Fox be able to trade?
Yeah, last time Mihu wasn't aware of that second player coming through Ivy, but he'll be well aware now as the bullets range through the smoke. And HellRaisers going to switch things up and look perhaps to move towards B. It's where they were going throughout the early rounds, weren't having that much success. And then eventually they were able to find their way, but Mihu gets slightly overzealous there and gets a bullet through the brain as punishment as well. And now it's suddenly a 4v4 situation, and HellRaisers will have their chance to use their utility and get onto one of these sites.
Yeah, I don't like that push at all. That's so detrimental. It takes away the man advantage, and that will favour HellRaisers here. There's only 4 members remain on the Kinguin side, 2 of them on the opposite side of the map as well as a bomb. It starts to make its way out through dog here, the rest of them coming in through A main. I like the elevator position from Mouse, but can he find anything with it? Sparrow definitely can. He gets himself one. Mouse, aggressive peek, and it works perfectly. He needs to double down, though. He'll actually drop, allow his teammates to rotate in, take a fairer fight in Zero. While he is pushed up, he's only going to get one. Bondik is dropped, and there we go. Team Kinguin, they'll clean it up 9-6 in the half.
Yep, and that is going to be half-time, so we are going to go for a quick break here at ESL Pro League. So 9-6 to Kinguin in the first half, and that could have been a lot worse for HellRaisers though. They were looking a bit down and out. It was 7-1 at one point, and then they managed to crawl back into it. What did it? Was it just? Was it things going wrong for Kinguin, or did HellRaisers just step up their game?
I feel like it was a bit of both, right? We saw Kinguin obviously get that dominant first scoreline. We were thinking this is surely over. They're doing very, very well, and then they started getting a bit aggressive. We started seeing the triple ops being pulled in on post plants. We started seeing some aggression down Ivy that some worked, some really didn't, especially in that last round as well. So I feel like Kinguin were getting a bit too big for their boots, and you can see that a lot at this level. Teams thinking overconfidently and going far too aggressive, and HellRaisers were able to exploit that, able to force him into eco, and that's when it just shut down. They got a couple of free rounds and we're back into the game.
And now moving across, HellRaisers' chance on the CT side here. Obviously the pistol is important, it always is important, but let's just say Kinguin managed to take the pistol. I mean, is there a chance they can just use this momentum on that T side? How important is it for them to build up a bank, get an AWP perhaps, just to try and take down HellRaisers?
Well, we were talking after the first couple of rounds how important it is for HellRaisers to get that T-side pistol, because you want, especially on such a CT-sided map like Train, to get that early advantage, get the money building in your favour, and start to kick things off with 3 free rounds, right? So yeah, I'd say it's definitely important for Kinguin to get it. The issue is I don't think they need it to win the map. I still feel like even if HellRaisers pick up the pistol, we have Kinguin, such an aim-based team, going into this game, they could lose a pistol and still fairly easily close this out in maybe a 16-9.
Yeah, I'm wondering whether Sparrow can continue his fine form. Obviously, I think it was like 18, 19 frags in the first half, and if he can continue hitting his shots, then Kinguin should be in a good nick to actually take this map. But a great chance for HellRaisers to get back into this. He just will need to pick up this pistol. We saw early aggression coming out from HellRaisers in the first pistol round. Kinguin, however, it looks like they're going to play things a little bit more slowly, a little bit more methodical. Yeah,
Dead Fox just spotting towards Ivy. Again, we have the double plate. Very common here from the CT side. You're going to want maybe a trade player or a bait player to be up into this position, and no one's peeking from Kinguin. We do have Mihu towards the back, but at the moment, the T side is just waiting for the aggression from CTs. I like the raid boss. That hints towards maybe a B play. It's very, very effective down towards that B site, but the issue is the positions of the CTs are far, or the T, sorry, are far more based towards A, but as they back off on the Ivy control, this may as well be a B play at this point. The issue is they don't have, a huge amount of utility to get onto A, so yeah, looking more likely as they back off towards the B halls.
Yeah, 2 smokes, just the 1 flash. Does look like it would work out, pushing towards this B site. Angel is going to spot out one of the Kinguin members just pushing in, and there is going to be a little bit of a rotation coming out from Zero, who was just sitting in Z. But still, no push coming out from Kinguin. More than happy to bide their time. They really are trying to lure out HellRaisers, really hoping that HellRaisers will make the first move and try and make a mistake. But HellRaisers not playing ball, more than happy to stay put here.
And Rowland's throwing a smoke over to the A site in the meantime, so that might actually fake a rotation from HellRaisers back in towards A. Let's have a look. They've only got 4 players on the A site, but it's actually a fake, because as we see the B push come in, it's actually thwarted. Angel is in position, and a great one at that. He gets himself 2 quick headshots, and Kinguin, I like the attempt at a fake with the 1 smoke, but it's just not going to work out. They get the bomb down, so the money is guaranteed, but certainly at this point, not the round.
There are a few weak members, but unfortunately he goes down, and Dead Fox finishes it off as well. Amazing opening frags coming from Angel there with the USP. Is absolutely disgusting weapon when you can just one tap away, when they just walk into your crosshairs and it's just easy pickings. But that's the start that HellRaisers needed, of course. And now it's going to be a question of whether Kinguin are going to force up here.
And let's have a look at the buy as well, because the issue is obviously going for the M4s in the second round means you bit lapse on the utility on most of the players. So yeah, they actually go for a mainly rifle buy, but with a couple of UMPs as well. So they'll be great for this anti-eco, and you can also bring them into the buy round if you want. More so a bonus round if you have 2 or 3 UMPs, but either way, Kinguin, assuming they don't get a bomb plant into this round, they probably won't have that AWP in play. But that being said, they're not really a team that's based around the AWP as much as HellRaisers are with Dead Fox, so it's not too much of an issue. But still a good amount of utility on these UMP players here on the CT side, and they are definitely going to need it as Kinguin are playing that buddy system. They are grouping up towards Ivy, trying to look for those trade bags if one of them does fall down. And HellRaisers, they're not giving them any openings, playing very, very passive on the CT side and just waiting for Kinguin to walk into their crosses, and I think Furlan just about to do so.
Kinguin obviously getting the bomb down last round, so they have just ecoed this one, and as you said, it's probably not going to be an AWP buy next round unless they do get the bomb, but they will have money to grab those AKs. And this round is just really a placeholder. Kinguin probably aren't expecting to win this one, but they're just maybe try and frustrate HellRaisers, try and destroy the economy ever so slightly, try and find a weapon. There is a headshot on 2-0 as well, you could hear it. Dinked away as now Angel's going to get aggressive with the UMP. He's going to find one, looks for a second, with the rest of his team coming to clean things up as the Kinguin had burst onto that B site. Bomb's not going to go down though, and Angel clears up Mouse. And that is a nice flawless round, exactly what HellRaisers needed. Yeah,
not a single kill from Kinguin, so no economical impact onto the money of the CT side. That being said, it is sometimes a blessing, right? Because that means if HellRaisers lost the UMPs into that previous round, they would have probably reinvested in M4s, but instead they're sticking with this. And this is not exactly a bonus round because they have a triple rifle, but 2 of them being FAMASes, it's very on the edge of being so, right? So this is actually a bit of a cheese round. Kinguin having a good chance to get into this one, as they definitely have the stronger buy, not in terms of utility, but definitely weaponry. And we know what these AKs are like, but Angel, very early aggression here towards a B upper.
And this is what I like, exactly, because you've got that slightly weaker buy, try and do something a little bit different, but Furlan is going to catch Angel trying to sneak round. Zero comes in to get the trade though, and now they're going to push onto this B site, but Zero's going to be there, can't quite find them. Does find Rallen eventually with the fire, as the bomb's now going to go down onto the B site, and it is a 3 versus 3.
Yeah, quite good here, but either way, Sparrow, he's pushed himself up Ivy. Why does he have his knife out? He's going to get caught by Stiko. That could have been the perfect reaction, but HellRaisers, they were late on the rotation, so I barely blame him for having his knife out in that position. Hoping he can strike from behind, but now only 2 remain. Mouse forced out by the Molotov. Miku tries to double peek, but it's just not going to work. HellRaisers, they have the perfect retake. And if anything, that round went to them because they made the mistake of having such late rotations. As soon as the bomb was down, you would expect them to instantly rotate, but Stiko was still sitting there on the site for some reason. So that's really going to catch back Kinguin and allow HellRaisers to pick up that 9-9 scoreline.
I mean, he had his knife out, but he did get his AK out, and he hesitated ever so slightly. He thought he's starting to turn away. I can wait here. I can make a big impact. But then there must have just been a glimpse of maybe an elbow that Stiko saw, and he just turned to finish him off. Really unfortunate. It could have gone so differently, but I think you're completely right. That late rotation really helping them out.
This buy though, what is this? They had about 3,300, and they've invested in body armor AKs. This is so risky. It would work if they had a couple of utility-based players, but they have 2 smokes to their name. This really is not going to be a good buy from Kinguin. It is an attempt to quickly get onto the economy of HellRaisers, but with them losing a couple of members, they've reinvested in an AWP, they've got these saved AKs, and they've not got a UMP to their name. I think more so Kinguin going for this investment, expecting HellRaisers to get some UMPs to try and anti-eco them. I understand it, but it's such a risk, and the reward is looking to be very unlikely with the buy of the CT side.
I guess they think the risk is worth taking, as the Molotov will come down and Sparrow bursts out, but then is found by Dead Fox. So we're into a 4v4, and Stiko, just on bomb train, just raining down shots, manages to catch Mouse as well, and will just back off ever so slightly deeper into the site, just calling for support from his teammates. And Dead Fox, can he find any more shots with this AWP? Just 2 players remaining now. Mihu does find one. He can find a second onto Stiko. No, he can't. Stiko gets the headshot, leaving just Rallen in a 1 versus 3 here.
Yeah, Angel, he knows what's up. He can see the feet, and there we go. Going to be able to pre-fire. Just spots his toes around the edge, and Angel's going to close that one out for HellRaisers. So 10-9. The buy from Kinguin, understandably so, but very, very risky, and that has actually affected them quite heavily. While the loss bonus will be built up after this, they're going to be on the max loss bonus. It's still, you know, another free round given away, or another 2 free rounds of that. So HellRaisers is actually going to be able to surely get up to 11 at this point, and then that'll be perfect for leading the CT side. They can pull in a double AWP if need be. I don't expect it, not typically the team to go for it, but we saw it a little bit on the T side, so let's see if they can continue with that. But for now, Kinguin just relegated down to pistols, a bit of utility, a lot more than the previous round ironically, and they will be setting up over towards an A take. Bomb is as well over in B upper, so I'm expecting maybe some smokes out on A, and then either the bomb to drop down Pop Dog to join Mouse, or to go into the B ramp late when HellRaisers have pre-rotated the players over.
These eco rounds are always my favourite rounds to watch as well, because it's so hard to surprise your opponent nowadays, because almost everything has been done, and you've really got to rely on your shot caller to try and do something a little bit different, to try and get onto one of these sites, at least try and get the bomb down. That's what the important thing is. And they are just going to push out from Pop here onto the site. There's lots of smokes to cover them, so bomb possibly is going to go down, but Angel's actually going to spray through and find 2. Rallen gets 1 onto Stiko, and Mihu comes in, chimes in one of his own. Now it's just Mouse versus, well, it's both Zero and Angel here. If he can pick up a weapon, it's very doable, but he can't find one. Angel finishes it off, 11-9, and Kinguin did a lot of damage, considering it was just an eco.
Yeah, and both these teams proving to be very aggressive in the well, not pre-plants, I guess you could say. At least when we saw the eco, we saw the same eco from HellRaisers throwing that smoke down towards the connector, trying to get the bomb down. But both teams now on the CT side have played it aggressively, gone for that boost on top of the site, sat close to connector and not backed off. Because some teams you'll see, very passive teams, will give away the bomb plant, allow them to get that extra money, and then go aggressive for the retake, which will favour them. But no, both these teams actually going very aggressive to try and stop that bomb plant. It's worked out very well for both of them. So now we see the buy from Kinguin, we see the AWP on Sparrow, but look at Dead Fox. He's got a great position, but he's not going to make it work, misses a shot, he's going to have to back off.
It would have been a huge kill if he was able to connect. He's trying to survive though, has hid behind here in the smoke. Are they going to know he is there is the real question. Seems like he's still more than happy to play ball here, eventually tries to back off, he does have his teammate to support him, somehow survives. And that could have been painful if he was shot in the butt cheeks there and taken down. Thankfully, though, he survives with his life, and we're still in a 5v5 here. Kinguin slowing things down ever so slightly, just checking if HellRaisers are going to get aggressive elsewhere here.
There we go, Bondic pushes into the Pop Dog here, gets the information it's clear, and as a result, they rotate another player back towards B, so expecting some kind of B play. It's a wrong call to make. If you look at the setup of Kinguin, they've still got this Ivy, and they are still going to be pushing down at Furlan, trying to look for something. He's got the support as well from Mihu. This dynamic duo as they make their way up, but the Molotov going to delay them a little bit longer. Not going to matter to Malzo. He opens up on the other side as he drops the first player down in Pop Dog, but Angel's actually going to reposition. They won't expect 2 in this angle. Issue is, this player's coming out of main to pincer him. Oh, great spray though from Stiko over towards the Ivy position. Gets himself 1 through the smoke, and he's going to look for more. Will land it as well. Great stuff here from the CT side. And Kinguin, 20 seconds left, only 1 man.
What is Stiko made of? Absolutely disgusting stuff. I mean, how often does it happen? Just that one shot through smoke can really change a round. And just by having that knowledge of knowing where to be spraying is absolutely huge from these guys. And that shot was just absolutely ridiculous as well. Like, he had no right to win that challenge at all.
And if Kinguin got that as well, it could have changed the round completely differently. It would have been back into the man advantage for the T side. So they could have actually got the bomb plant down and realistically taken a round. But so far, this CT side is just dominating for HellRaisers. They've not given up a single round here in the whole half. 6-0 as they go into this one as well. Again, Kinguin relentless on the buys. This time they have a little bit more to work with. The bomb plant in the previous one would have really made this one easier. Furlan relegated to a UMP and a fast play out towards B. I like this, changing up the pace, doing something they haven't tried since a pistol, and they're just going to be running on in. Angel turns around though, he's ready for it. 2 kills for him, and somehow he gets 3. There's not meant to be enough ammo in that gun, but he makes it work, and 4. Just switches out to the AK, and HellRaisers, they have just torn apart Kinguin.
This is the HellRaisers side that haven't won a train competitively in 4 games.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the HellRaisers that we were saying, well, they should be overturned quite comfortably by Kinguin. At least that's what I thought. But I mean, 4Ks like that, absolutely unreal. And Kinguin, they just look lost at the moment. You could see they've run out of ideas, going for something a little bit more fast-paced, but they just walked into the bullets of Angel. Yeah,
I did say it myself. Kinguin and HellRaisers, neither of this team are too prepared on this map. Neither of them have had recent results, and if they have, they've been mainly negative, as you highlighted there. So going into this one, we weren't expecting Kinguin to have a great T-side, but we were hoping they'd done a little bit of practice to maybe have a trick up their sleeve, have something to play with. But right now, they just look so lost in what they're trying to do. They're just trying to set up for double plays and go for really, really standard defaults. And the fact that they're not hitting their shots and they're not getting the picks is really resulting in HellRaisers picking up every round.
And you can see their tactical pause, and I presume coming through from Kinguin just really need to calm themselves down. have a discussion of what can they do. I mean, what do you think they can do now? They've tried pushing A, they've tried slow pushing A, they've tried fast pushing through Ivy, they've tried fast pushing to B. It seems like everything has just been thwarted by HellRaisers.
On their pistol round, we saw, I think it was Furlan, sorry, setting up that smoke over towards the A site, and they burst the rest of the players into B. Obviously, it didn't work because Angel just executed them from back CT, but I feel like they should try that, or a version of that, into one of their buys. Maybe go for a double smoke outside, and then go for a full B play with 3 players, and that's perfect. You can push one of the A players throwing those fake smokes into the site as well, just to commit to the fake, and the other one can rotate in and sit with a molly and upper for the post plant. Something like that, something very basic from Kinguin can really put off HellRaisers. They've been very, very angsty with their rotations, constantly moving Dead Fox back and forth between the sites. So if Kinguin take advantage of that, it could finally be around for their name.
Tech9's flashes, 1 smoke for Kinguin. Looks like they're going to go for some sort of burst play here. But Bondix was getting aggressive. I don't know if he got blinded by his own teammate there or whether that was one coming out. But there will be aggression coming out from Angel. Trade comes through from Mihu, and now they push out with the knife. Apparently Mihu gets his second. So now it's 3v3 and they're pushing onto this site. Stiko needs to go huge as he has done previously in these rounds, just hiding here on the bomb train. No one's playing ball just yet from Kinguin, but Dead Fox now comes in with the AWP just to help out. And there's just 2 members remaining. And
Rowland has an AK. Look at his position. He's forced all the way up. He could actually take down Dead Fox, although Stiko, he drops down for the heavens at the right time, takes himself a free kill, and now Furlan, he's on the other side of the map. He's nowhere near the action. Has to rotate on in. There will be rifles dropped in his proximity, so he may be able to grab something to play with, but still, they should know exactly where he is. And after just a few seconds, he's going to make his position known. Lots of footsteps. Dead Fox here. He has to hit the shot, but no, he crosses in time. AK running around the corner. A free kill for him. He has low ammo, though, so he trades out to the AWP. Still plenty of time to play with, and both these CTs rotating back in so they can at least get it in a position that they can crossfire and trade effectively. But Furlan, he knows what's happening. He's looking for this pick. If he can turn this into a 1v1, it's anyone's game.
Yep, HellRaisers just need to work together here. As you said, just watch their crosses. Make sure they can't get caught off guard. But being caught off guard is Stiko, but thankfully Zero was quick, hot on the scene to shut him down. It is 14-9, and now Kinguin in a position where they need to play flawlessly from here on out.
Yeah, it's OT or bust if they lose this one. At least they have a buy to play with right after that eco and getting quite a lot of damage out of it as well. But at this point, economical damage is not what Kinguin need. They need rounds, Dan. They've not got a single one on their T side, proving to really not have a lot up their strat book. And at least they have the AWP in play for this one. They've at least proven how effective their AWPing and double AWPing and even triple AWPing has been on the CT side. Yet to really make a mark on the T, but definitely potential to do so. Issue is, we see the counter AWP. Dead Fox posted up towards Ivy. And I think they're going for some kind of run boost here, or some kind of jump. Oh, okay, it's a jump there to get him across safely, but it fails. Mihu, he's going to hit something, not sure what, but he hits his head on the skybox and goes down to Dead Fox.
Poor Mihu. He had so much trust, and then he was just thrown into the sightlines of the AWP. Hard to watch, but also extremely funny. So I enjoy it. As now, HellRaisers have the man advantage, and Kinguin need to switch things up, try something a little bit different. I'm looking at that man, Sphero. He had 19, 20 kills in the first half. Hasn't really done much in this second half here. And he's got an AWP, a lot of responsibility on his shoulders, but can he hit the shots is the real question, Hugo.
He's looking for Dead Fox, and I know who I would usually favour in this matchup, but right now Dead Fox is really turning up. Stiko getting back in position towards Ivy, and Sparrow, he's just going to back off here. He moves in towards the A side of the map, and the rest of his team are set up for this big play at the moment. Issue is, time is ticking away. They have 30 seconds, and they have to hurry the hell up. Otherwise, this is going to be another free round for HellRaisers here. We even have a Molotov. That will delay it massively. A whole 7 seconds on that one, and Zero, he'll plonk it out. Peeking out with it as well, but it's Malzahn to open things up with 2. Good stuff for Team Kinguin, but can they convert it into a round?
Yeah, bomb's gone down. Sphero now will take position at upper, but Dead Fox finds Mouse as well, so it's 2 versus 3 as Stiko is slowly creeping. Sphero finds Bondic trying to come through from the backstab. Stiko has a grenade to work with. Can he connect with it? Yes, ever so slightly. You can see Rallen just there hiding on the site. He needs help from Dead Fox here. We need to see Dead Fox get aggressive as well. As you can see now, they're both pushing together, and they should both find Rallen together. Sphero's going to top, but Stiko is just cleaning things up. The Molotov is going to be on the site. I'm not sure whether that's going to be enough, though. I think it was a little bit too late. Dead Fox eventually going to go for the defuse, and just about it'll be okay.
What a perfect read from Seiko, though. Knew there was one player on the site, wanted his teammate to help him, and knew there was going to be a player on upper, supposedly to throw that Molotov out. So he sticks towards the upper position after finding that first frag and instantly stops any kind of work from Team Kinguin. Because if we saw that Molotov go out on the site and then Sparrow stay alive, he could have peeked out right after it, get one more kill, and then delay the bomb plant to enough time that Kinguin could actually pick it up. But no, Seiko reads it like a book, and HellRaisers, that's it. That's 15 rounds. It's OT or bust right now for Kinguin. And they haven't got a lot to work with. The fact that they have Rallen on the AWP, obviously because of the armor situation, he has got the money to go for the glass cannon, but still, it shows the confidence on the side of Kinguin maybe lacking a little bit. As you can see, this T side are really not having a lot of issues.
Well, this is the thing. Sparrow clearly fragging well for his team, and he is several, I think it's 7 frags ahead of just the second place on his team, whereas HellRaisers, they're all fragging well. I mean, I can look at Stiko, I can look at Angel, Dead Fox, they've all stepped up when they need to be. No one is really carrying them through. They're just all playing individually extremely well right now. Kinguin, as we said before, they had to play flawlessly before if they were going to get the win. Now they need to play flawlessly if they're going to go to overtime. And to be honest, I'm not particularly hopeful. They looked a little bit lackluster on their T side.
No, but at least they had a good TT side, right? We can look at that. We can go, there's things to work off. There's new strategies to implement going into the next matches, obviously, on this map. But that being said, this is still quite abysmal from Kinguin to not get anything done here on T. That is very, very rare. While it is CT-sided, you should have some breathing room usually for getting a couple of rounds. But let's see if they have something up their sleeves here. It's a typical smoke setup towards EA site. They'll go out deep. HellRaisers have been playing very aggressive even before the bomb going down on Ecos, so let's see how they play on the buy. Bondnik is set up. We have the pressure over on B from Mouths, but it's only a fake. As the rest of Kinguin with 28 seconds left are going to try and make their way out onto the A site.
Rallen does find the opening onto Dead Fox. That's what they needed, is now everyone gets aggressive onto the site. There are a few members of HellRaisers just waiting on this bomb train though. Bondnik can't quite find the frag as Sparrow picks up another, but now Stiko is on the scene and he's done so much previously. Can he find a second? Yes, he can. Disgusting stuff. And it's a 2 versus 2. Can the Stiko just continue as time's coming through? Just 5 seconds left. And I don't think they're going to be able to get this bomb down, unfortunately. And that is going to be that. HellRaisers take the game 16-9. And after such a confident start from Kinguin, unfortunately, they just weren't able to do anything on their T side, and I think you're right, perhaps it was overconfidence when they're on their CT side. They were 7-1 up, and then they just threw it away. Yeah,
I mean, not that that really would make a difference, but even if they did, carry on with a safe play on CT, and they ended up with a dominant half, maybe a 13-2 or something, I don't think they even would have been able to convert it. We saw nothing from their T side. Every single engagement, HellRaisers was getting the better of, but not only that, Kinguin's, at least, strategy book was fairly empty. We saw nothing intricate. We saw only basic smokes on A and then leading it down to aim battles. And while that is, something that Kinguin have been very, very well in doing in terms of, playing ESL Premier, playing these smaller tournaments, coming up against the big dogs, you can't just rely fully on aim. You need to have that strategy. And I mean, FaZe, for example, is a perfect example for that.
Absolute shame for Kinguin. I mean, even if they had taken the pistol in that second half, as you said, I just don't think they would have been able to pull it out because they just lacked so much in their tactical book. Clearly something they need to go back on. We knew that, but neither team was particularly good at train. HellRaisers now, though, they can turn around the statistic. They have finally put a win on the board on train for themselves. And clearly they've been working on it, to be honest. There was a lot more from HellRaisers. Yes, okay, they were 7-1 down, but as soon as they had that AWP on Dead Fox, completely different on their T-side pushes. And now Kinguin just have to forget it, and they move on, and it's Cash as the next map.
Yeah, and the map that I think at least they're far more favoured on in terms of results. So going into that one, I'm less scared for Kinguin, but maybe at least the tilt factor will come in, maybe they'll get upset, and maybe that will affect their performance, but I hope not. Either way, I still feel like this is still possible for a 1-1. My 2-0 prediction is ruined, but it's not over for Kinguin. I'm still going for the 1-1 call now.
Honestly, I just think the rest of Kinguin need to wake up a little bit and step up to Sparrow's level, because he's been the only person on Kinguin that's really shown anything crazy. And we saw 1-3K from Rallen, I believe, as well. But they can't match the clutch factor coming out of HellRaisers. Every single member of HellRaisers at one point stepped up during that game.
Yeah, even Dead Fox as well. I was criticising him before the match, saying recently we haven't seen too much out of him, but it's nice to actually see that he still had a performance with that AWP. He wasn't as deadly as usual, or they weren't playing around him as much, but he's still able to take those high pressure shots, get away with the engagements, and yeah, good performance from him as well. So actually keeping it alive on the CT side, HellRaisers is doing very, very well, far better than I expected.
And HellRaisers continue to just rise up that leaderboard ever so slightly. That's another 3 points for them, and they can actually tie with Kinguin. They'll both be on 9 points if they take both maps here, but that is going to be map 1 done and dusted, we will be moving over to map 2 on Cash ever so shortly, so we'll see you then.